started Kinara almost 10 years ago, and it doesn't feel that long ago. But the genesis of Kinara was probably a lot longer and goes all the way back to my childhood. My mother was an entrepreneur. My mom's side of the family are all entrepreneurs. And I saw that in Bombay, the hustle, the challenges that small businesses were facing. But that did not really register at the time. As a kid, you don't connect the dots the same way. It was much later that when I had the opportunity to mentor other social entrepreneurs, that this issue of access to capital kept coming back to the forefront. And when I spent time understanding what was causing this, I recognized that, oh, right, this issue is the same issue that I remember from when I was growing up. And after all these years, the issue had not gone. And the issue is very fundamental. Small businesses need small ticket business loans. They need it fast. And they, in this country where most of us don't always own land or property collateral, need unsecured business loans. And that was the gap in the market that I set out to change. And that's how Kinara got started in 2011. So many things shaped it, right? So when I think about Kinara in the last 10 years, it is filled with both this sense of accomplishment we have had in disbursing over 70,000 loans across 6 states to micro enterprises who are in manufacturing, trading, who are at the cusp of wanting to grow their own businesses to the next level. And certainly that is the energy that we take from it every time. And yet my own journey feels so similar to their journey. There have been so many challenges. And of course, in the last several years, with what is happening to the macro ecosystem in India, with the liquidity crisis, with COVID, with demonetization before that, all of those challenges that came, that were done outside of the universe we lived in and were affecting us, were affecting the micro enterprises we work with, were also the same challenges as an organization that I don't think I ever anticipated that we would be facing so many in such quick succession as we built out the organization. The thing that is the most important from a journey perspective, though, is while that's a great way to empathize with the small businesses, it also is, when I look at what we've been able to build, there is a uniqueness to what we have done, which is to really focus on this segment, to focus on this micro enterprises, and to stay in that zone for 10 years. And that's not easy to do. So that I'm really proud of. It has, as a journey, I would say, I don't think that if somebody told me this is where we would be 10 years later, I don't know if I would have started the journey knowing the complexities of regulation, of compliance, and all of these big events. But the beauty of it is sometimes what you need the most is just a willingness to bring about change, and then just tackling each problem as a problem at a time. And that is all we have done every day is, solve for the big problems and just go till you get to the next day. So I'm really thankful for this experience. And really, I just feel we are getting started. Maybe there are two pieces. I would say on the customer side, these customer stories are just constantly energizing. The stories of small business entrepreneurs whose life has shifted trajectory, all because we gave them a small 4 lakh loan, unsecured, for working capital. And the fact that they've been able to take that and turn it and get a new loan or a higher loan, and then be able to build personal wealth, asset, home, get their children to better schools, education. I mean, all of that. There are so many stories. I don't know if there's any one, but I know that the impact of this is so significant and is evident every time we go out and speak to our customers. I would say the other thing that is equally impactful is the organization that I cannot begin to tell you, you think about doing this, you talk about building an inclusive organization, but actually going out and making that happen, that's really a moment of pride, to be honest. We have 50% of our management team is women. We have 15 to 20% of women across the organization. We have transgender employees. We have people with special skills. We have people with different ideas. We have people from all walks of life, and that creation of an inclusive culture where you have a voice, where you have equal standing regardless of the job you're doing, where you have access to people across layers. We talk about it, but to build it takes a lot of effort, and I'm really proud that we've had the opportunity to do that. Started out very simply saying we are going to provide unsecured business loans. And then when talking to customers, what we realized is we needed to do it fast and we needed to create flexible products. So we added the fast, flexible piece. And in order to be fast and flexible, we realized that technology was the best solution. We have been paperless from day one. And over the course of the last 18 months, when the pandemic hit, a lot of our tech projects that were on the simmer burner came to the forefront, and we accelerated all of our digital programs and transformational activities around our tech, such that we were able to take what was already a very well-functioning system to the next level. We have a data science team that has been in-house for 3 years. We took all of the information that we have collected about our customers over the years, built unique models that now is embedded into our tech so that we can get to an automated decisioning for a customer loan application. And that allows us to have this blended tech model. Our field teams front the customer, do provide the last mile service, do interact with the customers if the customers are stuck, because our customers are new to digital and just getting experienced in this format, and we allow and enable them to do that. And yet all of that information is enrichment information that then our data science model is run to provide a single loan decision that is fully digital, fully automated. And what that has done for our customers is we've gone from what used to be 5 to 7 days for loan decisioning down to less than 24 hours. This gives us an opportunity to answer the customer's needs at the point of where the need is, which is when they have an order in hand and they want to know if they can have access to working capital. All of a sudden, they can have access to a product that can be flexibly curated for their need and a decision within 24 hours. That, to me, has been the biggest value and differentiation that we can provide to our customers. Very simply, just like my investors expect from me, I would expect that from my customers. One word: transparency. The better we are at sharing what, where, and how, the easier it is to find the right solution. And I find that when we are transparent with our investors and we share the scenarios, and of course, look at what has happened as the pandemic the last in 12, 24, 18 months. Hopefully it will not last 24 months. But what has happened is allowed us, we have had to go out and be open. And what we found with that openness is tremendous support. Our investors, our lenders, our partners really came to the table and helped co-create solutions and allowed us to tide over the pandemic. We have done the same thing with our customers, and especially for customers who are open and transparent, who do approach us and are open about sharing the real scenario. We find that we are most effective in helping them come up with the best product, best fit, best solution that could help them tide over whatever it is that they are going through. The other thing that I think that is something that we have been able to do in helping our customers is help them recognize the importance of moving up the formality chain. Most of our customers tend to be very informal. They have, less banking interactions, no GST or very little GST. So having them move up the formal chain is allowing them to be able to get access to future credit. And that's something that I want all of our customers to move up that path. I would say the biggest thing that we have all collectively done and is get more digital. And all of a sudden, this divide between India and Bharat is gone. Bharat is India now. Bharat is actually more India than not, in the sense that they spend time online. They have, they're accessing the same kind of services that all of us are in metro cities or, in so-called India Inc. And that is a tremendous shift that we have seen that I think was probably going to happen because the infrastructure behind it was already enabling. However, the pandemic just forced us all to get out there and do that. We have great stories of customers who have turned this into an opportunity to engage digitally with their customers, right? Whether it is to provide the last mile product delivery or payments. Payments was a big part of how we saw a big shift during the pandemic. We saw our customers ask us for more digital payment options, so we upgraded our tech and got ourselves onto over 400 different wallets and banking apps, so that where our customers wanted to, they could pay in through any of those mechanisms than they ever had done before. So I do think that's a trend, that shift is happening, and that shift will continue. And I do think we will see that shift move further and further rural, further and further engagement, and these products and services that all of us are designing and developing, we need to think of them across all of these layers and be able to provide the same unified customer experience, regardless of whether you're an educated person living in Mumbai or you're a trader in Tirunelveli. Absolutely, it changes the way a team operates. The how part is really, it has to be something that starts at the top. We all collectively have to commit to a gender balance, and in our organizations, we have to promote and hire with that in mind, and that's the how part. The why part is a no-brainer, right? I feel that we need to, 50% of the world is women, and they are equally capable. And I think the opportunity to bring them brings a whole different style of operating. We are designing products for women. We need to have women at the table. We are designing collaboration, which women are very good at, and we need to have women at the table to lead some of these pieces. So the need for this should no longer be challenged by anybody, to be honest. But the important thing is that, and I've been on some panels where people talk about, we need to do this. I literally look at the organizations and I think, well, why don't you start at home? So for me, starting from within, building for what we believe in from within is the first step. And that's really what we have done. My CFO is a woman, 50% of my management team are women, and they lead some big, complex functions that are critical and important for the organization. I would say there are two things. Okay, first of all, we can't really talk enough about this inherent bias. There continues to be a bias against women-owned or women-operated businesses. The number of stories our women entrepreneurs, and we have disbursed over loans to over 5,000 women entrepreneurs. The number of times I hear from them saying that they did approach a bank, and the first thing the bank said is, well, can you bring your husband or can you bring your father as a co-applicant, when she is the one running the business. So we have to break that bias, and we collectively have to address it. So that's, I would say, one of the biggest stumbling blocks. And the other stumbling block is formalization. Women-owned businesses, and it's a catch-22, mind you. Women-owned businesses tend to be more informal, a little more home-based sometimes, a little less on the banking or registered or formalized from doing business perspective. And that in itself is actually a detriment when you're going out to get access to capital, whether it's debt or equity, and when you're trying to scale. So I would say that that's another piece we need to really help women entrepreneurs to build in a level of formalization in their business operation from day one, and think of where they want to be as a formal business, not just as a woman entrepreneur. Persistence. Lack of formality and inherent bias in our ecosystem. When a banker sat there for 45 minutes out of a 1-hour meeting, looking at my COO, never thinking that I was the actual founder of the company and not there just to take notes. Very important. And often as women, it's very hard for us to do because we're constantly balancing work, home, business, and all kinds of other activities, but it is essential. And I would say that we need to commit to networking formally or informally in some way in our weekly plan and schedule. An architect and designer? Education. I think the opportunities that I've been afforded have really been made possible because of access to superior education in my life.